Hello, students. Today is December 7th, and welcome to our new unit, Unit 4A, we're calling this, and this is the unit on linear equations. You'll see the word line in the word linear, so that gives you an idea of something about all of these equations. We'll start with a do now, where I want you to thoughtfully answer the question about your future self, kind of an opening to a letter. Our objective today will be to begin our investigation of slope, and our essential questions are: what is slope? How can I find slope from a graph? How can I find slope if I know 2 points? And how can I complete an ordered pair if I know the slope and 1 point? For our assignment, we'll watch today's video while completing the assigned pages. Please pay special attention to the instructions for completing an ordered pair when given a point and a slope. And for our exit ticket, I want you to complete this sentence. To complete an ordered pair when given the slope, I must blank. And please turn in your lesson. You have an assignment in teams every day to turn in the lesson. Our homework tonight will be homework on slope. And to get full participation credit every day, I want your camera on during our discussion and at the end of the period, just for a brief goodbye. I want you to respond when your name is called at the beginning, middle, and end of the period. This all counts toward attendance. And I want you to submit your completed lesson by 8 a.m. the morning after. You can do it right after class, or you can wait till later in the evening. It's up to you. Please make sure you look for and complete the Wednesday assignment, which counts toward a grade and attendance. Today is National Letter Writing Day, so I thought it might be nice to surprise someone by writing them a quick note. For our do now today, we're asked to begin a letter to our future 35-year-old self by completing this sentence. Hello, have you blank? So hello, and you would put your name here. Have you blank? What is it, something you want to kind of see for yourself by the time you're 35 years old? Is it something about your career, or learning a skill or a talent, or having a family? So think about that and put that in your do now. And here is our exit ticket. We'll get back to that later. Let's start our unit on slope. So, slope is a rate of change. It is a ratio that shows how one variable changes with respect to the other. So on a linear graph, you see that word line in there, right? On a linear graph, this is called the slope of the line. Slope is written as a ratio of the vertical change. Vertical change is this direction. We call that the rise, to the horizontal change. So it's a ratio of the vertical change to the horizontal change, which we call the run. So this remains constant for any 2 points on the same line. Any 2 points on the same line. So slope is written as a fraction in the simplest form. So always remember to reduce those fractions. We use a variable for slope of m. And when we see that m, we know we're being asked about the slope. Now, slope can be positive, as if we're hiking up a mountain. Slope can be negative, like you're on a sled going down a hill, getting ready to crash into a tree. That's how we remember it. That's how I remember it. Slope can be 0, and that would be horizontal slope. And slope can be undefined, and that would be a vertical line. So we look at slope, we find 2 points on a line, and we calculate visually the rise over run. So we have m equals rise over run. Let's remember rise is the vertical, run is the horizontal. So we find 2 points on a line. Here's a point and here's a point. And we look for the place where we can kind of find a point where a line drawn from either one of those would overlap. In other words, if I draw this yellow highlighted line from each one of those 2 points, okay, we see that that line overlaps at a point right here, okay? So we're going to count from the point given in the graph up to this point, and that would be our rise. So the rise would be, let's count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now we have to calculate the run. We're going to go from this point over to the point on the line. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the run is 4. So m equals, the slope equals 7 over 4. Now, in this case, we have a negative slope. So I'm going to use that yellow highlighter again, because I think it helps us with the counting. So do you see what I highlighted on this graph? So now the rise, we're going down, okay? That means our slope will be negative. 1, 2, 3, so that's a negative 3 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 over 9. Now I can simplify that to a negative 1/3. So m equals negative 1/3. Let's do the next one. Well, when we have a horizontal line, okay, look at these 2 points. We do have 2 points, okay, and the run between those 2 points is 4. But we have no rise. The rise is 0. So 0 over 4 equals 0. So the slope is 0, or we can say m equals 0. Now on number 4, we have a vertical line, and they've given us 2 points. So we have a rise of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but the run is 0. So when we have 0 in a denominator, that means that the slope is undefined. Okay, so let's move on. Why don't you try a few of these on your own and then come back to the video and see how you do. Okay, so number 5, I will use the yellow highlighter just for clarity. Okay, so the rise is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the run is 1, 2, 3. So the slope is 5 over 3. Number 6, we have a negative slope. The slope is a negative 1, 2, 3, and the run is a positive 1. Negative 3 over 1, we simplify our fractions. The slope is negative 3. Number 7. The rise is 1, 2, 3, 4. The run is 1, 2. 4 divided by 2 equals 2, so that line has a slope of 2. Okay, number 8. We have a negative slope. So our rise is negative. We're going down 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative 4. We have a run of 1, 2, 3, 4. And negative 4 over 4 equals negative 1. So the slope for that line is negative 1. And let's look at number 9. So, again, a negative slope. So I can see we're going to go down 1, 2, 3, negative 3, over 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's the final answer, negative 3/4. Okay, let's look at this one. I think I need to use the highlighter here. Okay, so the slope is, it's negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1, which equals negative 5. Always simplify. Okay, let's finish the page out. Number 11, vertical slope, is undefined. And you can abbreviate that. Number 12, we have a positive slope. Okay, we have a rise of 2 and a run of 1, 2, 3, which would be a slope of 2/3. Number 13, we have a rise of 1 and a run of 1, 2, 3, 4, and that slope is a positive 1/4. We have a negative slope, number 14, 1, 2, negative 2, positive 1, 2, 3, 4, and we can simplify that to negative 1/2. Remember, going up is positive and going to the right is positive. Going down or to the left is negative. So you can't have a negative numerator and a negative denominator, because if you did, a negative, let's just use a 2, divided by a negative is a positive. So only the rise or the run can be negative if you have a negative slope, and that would be like number 14, where we're sledding down the hill, crashing into the tree, as I like to say. So number 15, our rise is 1, 2, and our run is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can simplify that to 1/3. Positive slope. Number 16, a horizontal line, the slope is 0. So now let's move on to the slope formula. Now you know that all of these points can be labeled with ordered pairs. We use the slope formula to find the slope between 2 points. And we call the 2 points x1, y1 and x2, y2. So we say the slope equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We always remember to simplify our answer, super important. So we're going to try some of these and we're going to find the slope between each pair of points. So this will be my x1, y1, and this is my x2, y2. Now, it doesn't matter which ordered pair you're going to call your x1, y1, or your x2, y2. It doesn't matter. You'll get the same slope either way. What you cannot do is make part of one ordered pair x1 and make the other number in the same ordered pair y2. Both of them have to be 1, and then the other two will be your 2. Let's see how this works. So we have m equals, so y2 is 3, so y2 minus y1. y1 is 1, we're subtracting. x2 is 4, x1 is 1. So 3 minus 1 is 2, 4 minus 1 is 3, and the slope is 2/3. Where you really need to be careful is, sorry about that, where you really need to be careful is when you have negative numbers. Okay, so let's watch how this works out. Not too bad in the next one, but a couple of these others will be a little more difficult. So this will be my x1, y1, x2, y2. So m, you always use the variable m equals -2 minus 4 divided by 10, okay, minus a -2. Okay, we need to simplify that. -2 minus 4 is -6. Remember our rules. 10 minus a -2 is 10 plus 2, which is 12, which simplifies to a -1/2. Okay, number 3. So our slope equals -5 minus 5 over -8 minus -4, which is -5 minus 5 is -10. -8 minus a -4, remember you make them positive, which would be -4. Negative divided by a negative is positive, so this is going to end up positive, and we simplify 10 and 4 are both divisible by 2, so that would be 5/2. Number 4, why don't you try 4, 5, and 6 on your own, and then come back. So I'll do number 4 now. M equals 4 minus 0 over -2 minus 10, which simplifies to 4 over -12, which simplifies to -1/3. Number 5. M equals 9 minus 9. You see what's going to see if you know what's going to happen here. Divided by 3 minus 5. 9 minus 9 is 0. So it doesn't matter what happens to 3 minus 5. It happens to be -2. But either way, the slope will be 0 when you have 0 in the numerator. And number 6, m equals 5 minus 8 divided by -7 minus -7. 5 minus 8 is -3. -7 minus a -7, we have to add 7, so that would be 0. Can't have that. That's a vertical line. That is undefined. And let's do the 7, 8, 9, and 10. Number 7. Slope equals 3 minus 9, 2 minus -1. 3 minus 9 is -6. 2 minus -1, is 2 plus 1, 3, which simplifies to -2. Number 8, slope equals -2 minus 13 divided by 6 minus -4. -2 minus 13 is -15. 6 minus negative 4 is 6 plus 4, which is 10. Both of those are divisible by 5. So the slope would be negative 3 over 2. Keep the improper fraction. We're not going with mixed numbers. This is a ratio. Number 9, slope equals 5 minus 6 divided by 6 minus 5, which will give us negative 1 over 1, which equals negative 1. Number 10, slope equals, this will be negative 4 minus negative 4. Okay, so we've got to keep that in mind. 1 minus 9. Negative 4 minus negative 4 is negative 4 plus 4, which is 0. 1 minus 9 is negative 8, which gives us a slope of 0. And last two are on the next page. Slope equals negative 2 minus negative 9 divided by 3 minus 5. So negative 2 plus 9 is 7. 3 minus 5 is negative 2. And number 12, slope equals 8 minus 6 over 4 minus 4, which equals 2 over 0, which gives us an undefined slope. That is a horizontal line. It has no slope. Now, this is the part of the lesson I really want you to be mindful of and pay attention to, because I've seen this highly tested on standardized testing, and it's good for our understanding. Now, sometimes you have to complete the ordered pairs. We're only going to be given a slope and part of one ordered pair. So, for example, if the slope of the line passing through the points negative 5, 6, and 5y, okay, so they didn't give us the y value, is negative 4/5, find y. Okay, so we've already know the slope. So think of this as a ratio. Make a ratio with the information you have. Make a ratio with the info you have. So that would be, we have, remember it's m equals y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So what's our m? We have our m here, negative 4/5. Okay, so we don't have a y2. We're going to call this our x1, y1, and we'll call this our x2, y2. So we don't have a y2. So we're going to say y2 minus 6, and then we have our x2 minus x1, so 5 minus negative 5, which will be 5 plus 5. So let's simplify what we can so far. Negative 4/5 equals that y minus 6. Okay, we'll just simplify it to y right now. And 5 plus 5 is 10. Now, this is a proportion. Okay? So we have a proportion. So we're going to build our proportion. Remember, 4 times 10 equals 5 times the quantity of y minus 6. So negative 4 times 10 is negative 40 equals 5 times the quantity of y minus 6. We'll distribute. So negative 40 equals 5y minus 30. And then we just solve for y. So we're going to add, I'll write this up here, negative 40 equals 5y minus 30. So let's add 30 to each side. And that would give us -10 equals 5y. Divide both sides by 5, and y equals -2. So we're going to build that proportion. Their slope is still a ratio, folks. So we've got a slope of 2. So 2 equals, and this is our x1, y1, x2, y2. So we'll have 2 equals. I'm going to actually move that 2 down and change the color to make it a little clearer. So 2 equals 6 minus -2 divided by x minus -3. So these become pluses because when we subtract a negative, you just add. So 2 over 1 equals 8 over x plus 3. So we'll solve the proportion. 8 times 1 is 8 equals 2 times the quantity of x plus 3. 8 equals 2x plus 20 plus 6. Excuse me, I almost put the wrong number. Okay. Subtract 6 from both sides. And working up here now. 8 take away 6 is 2 equals 2x. Divide by 2. And x equals 1. Okay. Here we have to find x. Okay, x2 or x. So 3/2 equals -7 minus 0. Oh, I'm sorry, -7 minus -4. Divided by x minus 0. So we can rewrite this as -7 plus 4. So 3/2 equals -7 plus 4 is -3. And x minus 0 is x. So 3 multiplying 3 times x, we have 3x equals -6. Divide both sides by 3, and x equals -2. Number 15, we have a slope of -9 over 2. And we're missing our y values, so 9 over 2 equals y minus -4 divided by -5 minus -3. These become pluses. We can rewrite this as -9 over 2 equals y plus 4 over -5 plus 3, which is -2. And then we multiply -9 times -2, which is 18, equals 2 times the quantity of y plus 4. 18 equals 2y plus 8. Subtract 8 from both sides. And 18 minus 8 is 10 equals 2y. Divide both sides by 2. And y equals 5. Okay, number 16, m equals 1/2. So I'm going to change the color. doesn't all run together. So we have negative 1/2 equals 3 minus 2, y2 minus y1, 3 minus 2, divided by 6 minus x. So we have a couple of choices here. I think I'm going to rewrite this as negative 1/2 equals 1 over 6 minus x. So we can simplify that because 3 minus 2 is 1. So 2 times 1 is 2 equals negative 1 times negative 1 times 6 minus x is negative 6 plus x. Okay, because a negative times a negative is a positive. So let's add 6 to both sides. And 8 equals x. Okay, last 4. I hope you try these yourself before you come back to the video. I'll work number 17 here. Negative 4 equals negative 7 minus y divided by 1 minus negative 3, which is 1 plus 3. So, make my 4 clearer to see. So we have negative 4 equals negative 7 minus y divided by 4. So let's rewrite this as, so remember negative 4 is negative 4 over 1. So we have negative 4 times 4. We're multiplying across, cross multiplying. Cross products, remember that? Write that down for you. So negative 4 times 4 is negative 16. 1 times negative 7 minus y is just negative 7 minus y. So let's add 7 to both sides of this equation. And negative 16 plus 7 is negative 9 equals negative y. We divide everything by negative 1, and y equals 9. And then number 18, negative 1/5. So is y2 is 8 minus 7 over 11 minus x. And we can rewrite that as negative 1/5 equals 8 minus 7 is 1 over 11 minus x. And 5 times 1 is 5. Equals negative 11 plus x, because we've got negative 1 times 11 minus x, and negative times a negative is a positive. So that will be plus x. We'll add 11 to both sides. And x equals 16. Number 19, we have a slope of 3/4. And we have our y2 is 5 minus y over 0 minus 4, which we can simplify to 3/4 equals 5 minus y over 0 over negative 4, excuse me, I should have put 0, negative 4. So using cross products, 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. And 4 times 5 minus y, 4 times 5 is 20 minus 4y. And let's add 20 to both sides. of this equation, which will give us negative 12 plus 20 is 8 equals negative 4y. Oh, I know what I did wrong. We've got a mistake here. I'm going to redo this. Okay, 3/4 equals 5 minus y divided by negative 4. So that should be 20 minus 4y equals negative 12. Now we'll subtract 20 from both sides. That's where my mistake was. Negative 4y equals negative 32. Divide both sides by negative 4, and y equals 8. And last problem, 1/3 equals negative 2 minus y divided by 9 minus negative 3, so we'll be adding that. So it will be 1/3 equals negative 2 minus y over 12. And we use cross products. 12 times 1 is 12 equals 3 times negative 2 minus y, which is 3 times negative 2 is 6. 3 times negative y is negative 3y. So negative 6 minus 3y. And we'll add 6 to both sides. And 18 equals negative 3y. Divide both sides by negative 3, and y equals negative 6. Okay, so there's your introduction to slope. Let's go back to our exit ticket. To complete an ordered pair, when given the slope, I must build a proportion using the information I have, or that I am given. And I want us to write the slope formula. M equals y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. You need to memorize this. This is your slope formula. Remember, you're going to use two sets of ordered pairs, x1, y1, and then you'll have an x2, y2 to build your formula. So that's our introduction to slope. Keep working hard. Please do the homework right away so you retain this information. And as always, with practice, you'll be great.